It says we're live. We alive, baby.
Barely.
All right, barely. Let's go. That's it.
All right. Hello, everyone. Danny and Wanda from Deepsouth Homestead, and I guess we could say Pecan Grove. Where's my?
Look, I don't know what
there
you're doing
is.
there, but I was fixing to say you clicking
I
on
was
the wrong
clicking on the wrong
thing.
button, of course.
Yeah, ain't
Welcome to
nothing
my
new.
world. So we missed last night.
We did. We didn't have no internet last night.
The rain.
We'd be lucky if we got some tonight.
Yeah, they said there's rain again in a few minutes. So,
yeah.
But Danny looked. It looks like it's going to be a little light shower.
Looks like yeah.
We don't lose internet unless it gets a heavy downpour, and we got a heavy downpour last night.
We got 2 inches yesterday. 1 inch in the early part of the day, 1 inch in the later part of the day, and then we got 3/4 an inch just a while ago.
Yeah, we got a good rain earlier. Yesterday, one time actually a couple of times. But one time in particular, the lightning shook so hard. It
shook the whole foundation of the home.
I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd go live. Since we didn't get to go live last night, we decided we'd try to do it tonight if it's not raining. And
we'll try.
We've been a little busy today.
A little bit is not actually correct, but
we started at 6.
Yeah, because I slept in a little bit late this morning. I slept in until 5:15.
So around 6, we were picking.
No, I slept in until 5 o'clock this morning. By the time I got breakfast fixed and we got out the door, it was 6 o'clock.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was at 6 o'clock.
I mean, we were picking figs at 6.
Yeah, 6 we were picking figs. Yeah.
And we picked some pears. And I already have pears in the fridge and pears in the floor.
Yeah.
And I already have peaches in the floor and tomatoes in the floor.
Right.
Not necessarily on the floor now, y'all. I've got boxes.
They're in boxes, but you know what? Our house is an extension of our property. We don't worry about what something looks like in the house. We just got food everywhere.
I want it to look nice, but when canning season comes, I have to have my stuff laid out where it's not in the weather and all that, and I process. So today we picked figs and pears. I turned around and I had tomatoes in the floor. I put the tomatoes in the freezer, the figs in the freezer because they will hold in the freezer. We had peaches, so I took and peeled all the peaches that were getting soft and canned those. Then I peeled a few pears by hand. Danny come in. He got his little apple core peeler thingy out.
Apple peeler.
Yeah, that's it.
I got 2 machines. One cores and one don't. I use the one that didn't.
Yeah, and he helped me, and we did some more pears this afternoon.
Yep.
And right now on the stove is some cinnamon pears.
Cinnamon pears from Miss Wanda. I don't eat cinnamon.
Slow cooking, so it's been a long day. So.
129 Homestead says, "Is it hot here?" Well. It was only 104 heat index today, so that wasn't too bad. You know what I mean?
And it's cooled off.
It's cooled off. Right now, it says it's 76 inside and 77 outside. Now, the difference is there's 52% humidity in the house, 98% humidity outside, according to the monitor.
So it would probably be about, 86, 87?
Probably about 83.
Somewhere in there,
around
maybe?
83 degrees, outside.
So we've cooled out a lot.
Anything under 80 degrees, we figure it's a blessing.
Oh, I love the jalapeno poppers. I take that cream cheese and shredded cheddar cheese and mix it together, and I cut those peppers in half. I don't leave them whole and just hollow them out. I cut them in half, and I make little boats out of them, and then I freeze them. And Danny and I love banana peppers that way. So any I can get, that goes in the freezer, what we don't eat.
Yeah, I have to get where I can see here.
61 in northern Michigan, 109 heat index, 91 the temperature. You must have some humidity.
Well, the heat, yeah, when you have, if you got humidity, if your temperature is way higher than that.
Double A said another round of peas. Now our peas just starting, and I didn't plant very many, so I've got several jars of peas. Cammie says her dining room's full too.
Yeah, I mean, people. I think people understand. You know, your house is just an extension of what you do.
Yeah.
Switchgrass Acre said they get happy when it's below 90. Must
Yeah.
be in Florida or South Texas.
Now, Monkey Mama said she made a version of the poppers with the jalapenos. That's what I'm using
Yeah,
now.
we use the jalapenos, yeah.
I did used to do all the hot peppers, the hot jalapenos, but we've switched to the jalapenos, and last year we had the Fuju, which was not hot. We love the flavor. I like it hot, but he doesn't. He'd rather have it kind of mild.
Oh, Dean says, you ever seen ball lightning? I have once in my life.
What is that?
RCJO2 says, hi from Spokane. Got my Danny corn last week. Thank you. You are more than welcome.
What is bald lightning?
It's like when it now this is my version of it. When it pops, all you see is a blue flash, just a big like. I mean, it's like you hit right where you're at almost, you know. I mean, that's what I call ball lightning. Somebody else may call it something different.
I thought it was BALD, bald.
No, look at it.
I saw bald after
Yeah.
I said it. I'm thinking, what is bald lightning? Did the ponds fill any?
You know, I haven't even been to the pond.
We've been so busy.
We've been so busy, we just don't even go outside. When it gets to be that hot, we don't even go outside.
Somebody asked earlier about Danny corn.
What about it?
How's it doing?
It's doing okay. I've gotten rid of, several raccoons and stuff from getting in it. I still got one, I think, coming in because I still see a few stalks down. Could be a possum. I mean, I don't know. But these are the pickiest creatures I've ever seen in my life. Now, I want to tell y'all something. This is a good time to bring this up. Every time I eradicate one of these creatures, that's the awfulest bunch of squalling and hollering you've ever heard. I shot an armadillo last night, or night before last, and that armadillo squalled like a wildcat. And I was like,
I've never heard
an armadillo make a noise. And this
Yep.
thing was laying on the ground squalling like a wildcat. And I told Wanda, I said, this magnetosphere is affecting the animals.
The raccoons, 2 of them that you shot did that.
All 3 of them screamed.
All 3 of them?
All 3 of them screamed
Screamed.
like a blood-curdling woman.
Danny said,
I've never, ever, ever heard anything like that, from these animals.
all right, they buffered for a minute.
That's for sure.
Oh, now we're buffering back and
Oh,
forth.
here we go. We knew it was going to happen.
All right. Maybe y'all may have to refresh.
What is that?
Something popped up.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Yeah.
So it might have sent them a message, hey, y'all come because something. That was water in the ice machine.
Oh, is that what it is?
You don't
I thought
hear
it was rain. I don't hear it very often. Yeah. I'm never in the house. I guess is why. I thought it was raining on the roof or something.
Lost us during the animals buffering. Yeah, we're
hollering,
just
not buffering.
well, I mean, whatever.
Cammie 97. We're finally getting some rain too. A little bit, An inch or 2 ain't nothing for us here in the deep south, but it's good.
Yeah. So the animals pretty much will have some Danny corn because Danny planted so much.
I'm hoping.
We put up several bags, so we will have our fried corn for most of the winter. We don't eat it that often, but when we want corn, we'll have some corn since I didn't get any fresh corn. Chris brought me some fresh sweet corn, and I put up a little bit of that. And so we're done with the corn except when he starts harvesting it dry.
Lori Bosch says, how long does it take to show signs of herbicidal drift? You'll probably see it in about 3 days. In 3 days, if you will know if you've had some type of herbicidal drift, because you'll start seeing your leaves wilting and curling up and just beginning to die.
Sweet corn is tasseling without ears. Should I pull it or wait?
No, just wait. Give it time. You don't really have ears to start when it tassels. Believe it or not, your ears don't come till after it tassels.
Yeah. Melinda said my sweet potatoes are not forming. Are you talking about vines for slips, or you've already planted them and they're not making potatoes? Because it takes a while.
It takes a long time for them to make potatoes, but
and if your ground's cold,
yep,
you're not going to have any vines yet.
Your ground has got to be 70 degrees or warmer before they make slips like they're supposed to.
Do you think states are going to succeed? I guess to succeed is what Winter Homestead.
No, there's nobody going to succeed. It's it's actually illegal.
All right, stepping in it says, what is killing the white oak trees?
pH. All the stuff they're spraying in the atmosphere is changing the pH of the ground. Oak trees need an acidic soil, and it's changing the aluminum is changing the pH of the soil, raising it up unnaturally, and it's also binding up the phosphorus in the soil, so the trees can't. They got too alkaline of a soil, and they can't take the phosphorus up.
All right, so 3B Homestead says, I know you only drink water and maybe some juice. Is there anything wrong with an occasional cup of coffee?
No, not. I mean, the only reason I don't do it is just because of what's coming in the future. I'm just trying to go ahead and get myself prepared. There's nothing wrong with it.
He took himself off coffee many years ago because of his heart.
My heart. The caffeine was making my heart race, and I said, you know what? I might as well just get off it. Plus, it's a diuretic, and in the heat down here, I was sweating so bad that I needed to get rid of it out of my system, so that, you know. But drinking coffee, there's actually, if you drank the Swiss waterpress coffee, it's really not bad for you at all. The worst coffee in the world for you is decaffeinated coffee that's not done by Swiss waterpress.
Find the Swiss waterpress, because somebody's going to ask about it.
Okay. But most people don't realize that they use toxic chemicals to decaffeinate coffee, and when they tell you that they're not harmful for the human system, that's really accurate until you reheat it, because once you reheat it above a certain temperature, those chemicals become active again in the coffee, and they are actually very toxic to the human system. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? Give me a chance here to read some of this. Marsense says, my potatoes are Cadillacing here in Newfoundland, Canada this year. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, let's go with the Swiss waterpress. This is Verena Street. It's the ground. This one says decaf because
the Swiss waterpress does decaf it.
They decaf with Swiss waterpress. It's naturally decaffeinated for a full-bodied and rich yet mellow blend. So let me see if I can hold it where y'all can see it. And I think I got this from either Amazon or Walmart. I ordered online because Danny can drink this. It's 100% fully freshly roasted Arab, whatever, coffee beans. And it's Swiss waterpress. What do they do to Swiss waterpress? You looked that up one time, didn't you?
It's a long process. What is this? Hold on here. I got questions is going by. I can't. That's way over here on the other side of me, and I can't get to it. Let me get my glasses here.
I'm trying to see what it's certified for.
Okay. All right. Connie Brown says, Danny, I've never had blossom end rot on tomatoes. Is that just from lack of minerals, or is this sudden heat wave temperature affecting them? It's more than likely when you have blossom end rot, it's a calcium deficiency. The plants are not being able to take up the calcium efficiently, and they will actually do that. Well, we have blossom end rot on some of our peppers and different things like that.
Starting on a few peppers, so we've got to see where that is.
Okay. Everybody's talking about their coffee.
Jennifer says she's got her caffeinated cup. Y'all, I don't have any. I had a couple of cups. I had my last one about 2:30 or 3 this afternoon, and I'm tired, so I want to be able to go to bed after a while. If I drink coffee this time of the night, I'll be up.
Yeah.
coffee has its benefits, and it has its good benefits, and you just have to weigh out the good versus the bad. But the Swiss waterpress, Danny will drink a cup every now and then. He just doesn't drink it every day. He just broke that habit.
I've broke the habit.
I tried and I can't, so I still drink coffee.
I don't drink tea. I don't drink Cokes. I don't drink nothing. I just drink straight water. Can the Deep South have a veggie harvest in the wintertime? That's Rich Stanberry. Yes, we have a veggie harvest all the time in the Deep South down here. It's not. It all depends on how you do it and what you do. You can grow your greens and rutabagas and turnips and broccoli and
we have
cauliflower.
Grown in the high tunnels and stuff. We've grown tomatoes and peppers during the winter. Not full time, but they will grow until it really freezes hard. We had a lot of tomatoes when we had a hard freeze up, January one year. And we still had tomatoes growing. So it's just according to how much work you want to put into things.
Shawana, let me have this. Shawana says, Danny, can you recommend a book or a website or a channel that talks... you touched something.
Move your hand.
What did you do? Okay. That talks about the grand solar minimum. I guess the best one would be Sasha Dobler's.
Yeah, Solar History.
Solar History. You can find that on Amazon, Shawana. Danny J. Robertson says, do you solarize your raised beds during off-planting season or plant something as a cover crop in those beds? I actually don't really solarize them, and I don't plant cover crops in my bed because we very seldom are our beds ever empty. Our raised beds are in a high tunnel, and they usually have something in them all winter long, to be honest with you.
All right, so Linda Jeter wants to know, why do my cucumbers not turn green when they are reaching oversize? I finally picked them. Will they cross with squash that are nearby?
Now, anytime a cucumber gets too big, it turns yellow. That's a sign that it's gone beyond its productive state. Now, a lot of your places will take it and make relish out of it and stuff like that once it gets big, because it's full of seeds at that point, and you really don't want to let them get that big.
All right, where are we at? If I had to drink decaffeinated coffee, I would quit altogether. I'm with you. I've got teas and stuff that I can drink, and that's something I was going to talk about, was the juices that we've been making.
Now, Abama Gardener's talking about that. I'm loving my watermelon juice. I'm on my 6th watermelon. Never craved this much, but they are good this year.
That's what I'm doing. I'm juicing stuff. I juice peaches, all the peelings and stuff.
Yes.
I made peach juice, and I did about 6 of our little, I think they're, 6 ounce? 4 ounce? They'd probably be about 6 ounces.
I guess more, probably about 6. Yeah, 6 or 8 ounces.
We bought 2 boxes of them. There's probably about, I don't know, we probably got about 75 of these things that are plastic juice bottles with caps. And we started about 3 years ago putting juice in those bottles. And so I was telling Danny today, I've got peach, blueberry, huckleberry, blackberry, mayhaw. We've got some lemon juice left. We've got orange juice and satsuma. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
You got so many, baby. I mean, gosh, I sit back and...
They're so pretty in the freezer.
They are. You look down there, here's all these colors. They're purples and reds and, pinks and whites and off-whites. And, I mean, they're just beautiful. She does a really good job.
And so what started it, when I was sick, I had to go into town and buy juice. Well, years ago, we were doing the scuppernong and the muscadine. I still have some of that. And I took some of that out and was drinking that, but I had to go buy like apple juice and I don't remember what other kind of juices I bought. And it was hard to find a juice that didn't have something added to it.
Right.
And so I told Danny, whatever fruits and veggies and berries comes through here, I'm making juice with the leftovers. And so that's what I've been doing.
Tambra says, how long do you have from the time that you pull sweet corn till the time that you get it blanched and put in the freezer? Tambra, not more than an hour. Usually from the time you pull it within an hour, you want to either have it in a freezer or you want to have it blanched, ready to cut off the cob and get in a freezer, or because we don't can ours, it ruins it to can it. But usually around an hour.
I don't have cherries, so we don't grow cherries, so I can't do cherries. But I don't use my juicer. I've been just using a pot and straining it when I get through, because it's not that much. Like, I did some apples the other day. We didn't have very many apples, but I did 3. I guess this is a half pint.
Yes.
I think I did 3 half pints of apples off of our apples, and I put some cinnamon in them. And the peelings and stuff I just put over in a boiler and boiled. I'm not bringing that big juicer out unless I have a lot of something to do. And the peaches was the same way. There wasn't a lot of peach stuff left over, so I just put it over in a boiler, covered it, and made my juice.
Let's see here.
Somebody said, I read that watermelon seeds are a superfood.
I can't answer that one. I know pumpkin seeds are. Pumpkin seeds are really good for you. I know that. I don't know about watermelon seeds. My daddy and them used to pick at us when we was watermelon seeds. He used to tell us if we swallowed one, it was going to grow a vine inside us. A child of God says, do you make elderberry juice?
No, we have some elderberries.
We have them, but we don't make it.
Now, if we needed some, I know where they're at, and I know what to do to make them, and I have a recipe, but I find that we don't use that unless we're sick, and Danny and I aren't sick that often.
Vicky says no cherry trees. Now, we have wild cherry trees, Vicky, and they're not good to eat. They're very tart, and the seeds that's in them have cyanide in it. So we don't usually eat those.
We don't grow the pretty cherries that y'all grow up north.
No, it gets too hot down here to grow cherries.
Now, we did grow, what was that one that we did grow for a while? But it wasn't a regular cherry. It was a...
Oh, it was a tropical cherry. It
Barbados?
It was a Barbados cherry.
Yeah. We did grow that one.
Which was really not a cherry. It was more of a tropical thing.
Yeah, it was like a little crabapple type thing to me.
Yeah. They won't grow in the deep south down here.
Let's see. All squash seeds are edible and delicious. The other thing we did, I know y'all gonna think this is something it ain't.
What does that look like to you guys? Tell us what you think that looks like.
Somebody on Patreon may figure it out.
Well, they might, but I mean, we can show a real good comparison here in a minute, side by side. I want to know. See, everybody's
Pears.
Everybody's saying pears. Well, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you one of these is pears and one of them's not. Look at that. One is pears and one is not.
So this one.
That one is not pears.
And it's not apples.
And it's not apples.
And it's not chicken.
Nope.
And it's not potatoes or
not zucchini or...
Nancy got it. White peaches.
It is white peaches. I mean, we just got a lot of white peaches.
Yes. We were blessed yesterday to get some white peaches, so I put up a few jars, and I'll put up a few more as they this next week. But oh my goodness, I was thrilled because we only got a handful of little peaches, and I think I put 1 bag of peaches in the freezer to make a cobbler. I made a cobbler the other day, and I made some peach juice. And so when we got these white peaches yesterday, I stayed in the kitchen late yesterday and put 3 or 4 jars up, and today I did about 4 or 5 more and made some juice.
Now these were not our peaches. We had a friend of ours, Mr. Jerry, called and asked us did we want to come get some peaches from his place, and we said yes. So we went and got peaches from Mr. Jerry yesterday.
Now they want to know the difference between white peaches and normal peaches. Let me go get...
Yeah, get them a jar of regular peaches.
I don't have regular peaches.
Well, we call them normal peaches.
I put them in the freezer.
Oh, you done put them in the freezer? They're over here by the wood heater. Yeah. Miss Wanda's going to let y'all look at those white peaches and kind of show you what they look like.
And they'll look like regular peaches in some ways.
They're not cling peaches. They're cling free.
Oh, they're amazing.
I mean, they are the best. This is them right here,
I
guys.
don't know how to lay them where they can see the sides and everything. They kind of look like regular peaches in some ways, but they're a lighter color. And when you cut them up in the inside is white.
They taste so good. I love white peaches. Now I have a white peach tree here at Deepsouth Homestead. It just, the freeze gets it every year, and it doesn't ever.
We've gotten maybe 5 or 6 off of it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And just when they start getting ready, the squirrels hit them.
Yep. Now, these have not been sprayed. They have had, he told us that he's not put any spray on them. And guys, I'm going to tell you what, I was blown away. I ain't going to lie to you. I was blown away.
We could use our grass clippings as mulch around vegetable plants and in Vago beds, but we do not want grass coming up in them. So if it's got seeds on your grass when you cut it, you don't want to put it in your garden. You want to cut the seeds off and then cut the grass.
Yeah, we feed most of ours to the cows. I mean, that's why we do it. Becky Hansen wants to know, do you have a video on how you make your juices? You've made so many videos using a juicer steamer, I know, but
we did the muscadine and the
oh yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So I don't know if y'all can figure out the muscadine and scuppernong juices. I do have videos, and I don't know if it's on Crazy Days or on Deepsouth. I'm not sure. But yeah, I do on how I made the juices there. We showed the little jars that we got, the plastic jars and everything. And the other thing we've been working on.
This is the other thing we've been doing right here. Y'all know what those are? Anybody want to guess what those are? One of my favorite foods right there. One of my favorite ones. I literally love them. Oh yeah, everybody's getting that one right. Figs.
Whole figs.
Whole figs.
Now, figs, most people want to candy them down. Danny doesn't like them real sweet.
I don't want them candied
so
down.
So I have a recipe, and we have videos on Deepsouth here for whole figs. I've done it 2 or 3 times. I know I've got several videos.
Yeah.
I've also got a fig jelly recipe. I've got, I think I've got a strawberry fig recipe, and I might even have a candied fig. I've done all figs that way. The pears, I think I have a pear jelly, cannon pears, pear sauce. What else did I do? I can't remember with the pears. Oh, pear relish. Now the pear relish is really good. What was it?
Forrest Gump said he had canned a lot of bone broth from beef and all that. And I was going to tell you, we'll be doing that here in the next probably about 3 weeks from now, I hope.
Yeah. What is the difference in white and yellow peaches? I have read you can't can white peaches. I know that you can some things they say not to. All right, the difference is these are they're going to be more mushy. They're softer peach.
They're a lot softer peach.
The deal is I did 2 jars of halves, like I wanted them in halves, and they tended to mush down and float up, so I'm not wasting my jars doing that. So I just cut them all in quarters and just pack the jar better. So yeah, the white peaches are harder to can. That is true.
What's that? One More Rock says, can you take shoots off of growing sweet potatoes and start another slip? I have a video we just put up about that.
On
Pecan Grove. If you go over to Pecan Grove MS, where we over there we show all about our growing stuff. We have videos showing how you take and cut your vines off, and and I'll show you step by step what I did.
Yeah. We just put it up yesterday, I think.
I think it was yesterday we just put it up.
All right. Donna says she has a white peach and finally got 6 peaches this year.
Oh, I think, yeah, I love white peaches.
All right. Where are we at?
Let's see here.
They're talking to somebody else. And let me go back and find. This is the first year I have so many apples. Casting.
Poems helped.
It wasn't poems. She said worms. I
Oh,
think.
worm castings helped. Okay.
Yeah, worm castings helped. Yes. Have you heard of Alpha Gal?
No, I have. Well, that name rings a bell, but it's not coming. I don't know if it was a pear tree or apple tree or something like that. Seems like.
All right. Do you can the pears after picking, or do you wait until they ripen? We put these in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days, and they seem to can better than trying. They're really hard when you first pick them. Leaving them in the fridge softens them just enough without over softening. Now, if you left them a week or 2 in the fridge, yeah, you'd probably.
Yeah. Now the secret is you have to pick pears before they get ripe, because pears ripen from the inside out. If you let them ripen on the tree, then they're not good for canning then, because the inside will be too soft. So you want to pick them about a week ahead of time, let them sit in the refrigerator for a couple of days, and then can them, because they do ripen from the seeds out to the outside.
All right, Keith says, have you done porch time already, and can you give us a teaser? I haven't even edited it, so
Wanda hasn't edited. Yes, I shot porch time this morning, or during the middle of the heat of the day today. Actually,
during the day.
It was during the heat of the day. I couldn't go outside because it was too hot, so I actually went in one of my buildings, and I did shoot porch time. What would a teaser be for porch time? Oh, that is a good. I'll have to think about that one, Keith. Let me think about that while we're looking at this.
All right. When can you pick muscadines? They're watching the muscadines close this year. The heat wiped them out last year.
Scanes girl, it all depends on where you live at. You pick them whenever they get sweet. I mean, when the sugar content is at their highest. Usually when it gets like that, if you just touch them, they'll fall off the vine.
All right. Alpha Gal is a tick disease.
Oh, never heard of that.
No, I've not. Where's Miss Lippy? She kind of busy. Her and Miss Allison got a lot of projects going on yesterday and today. She'll be ready for her canning class though come Wednesday. So if y'all hadn't been checking in with Miss Lippy, she's doing canning classes on Wednesday nights, and y'all would have fun. So check her out.
All right. Keith, this is going to be your teaser. Porch time has to do with debating. The debate. It has to do with the debate. Okay. Lori says after watching the video yesterday, she went out and cut some vines to root. Good deal.
All right. So are we getting caught up?
Oh,
Old Dominion watched your couples yoga video last night. That was funny and cute. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, I couldn't do it today now, I'm going to tell you.
No, we didn't do
Oh,
much.
Lord.
We had fun doing that because
We did.
We kind of got tagged in that, I think.
We did. I think we got tagged in that. You're right.
So if y'all want to watch the couples yoga, y'all have to look Deepsouth Homestead couples yoga or something. I done forgot.
Yeah.
Y'all, we got so many videos. Y'all just need to browse back when y'all don't have nothing to do. Just keep running back looking for stuff. What debate? There wasn't a debate.
Well, I have to agree with that one now, because I watched a little over half of it, and I got sick at my stomach because neither one of them could tell the truth. And that irritated me. Yeah, I thought more of one of them than I did the other one. And both of them sit there and did not tell the truth.
And to me, there was what I did not like, beginning and end. They were not, how would you say it? They have no manners.
Right, none whatsoever.
At the beginning and at the end, both of them were 2 kids, and I was thoroughly disgusted. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw
I was very disappointed. I mean, usually, I don't care if I didn't like debating somebody. I would still walk out and offer them a handshake. You know what I mean? That's the courteous thing to do.
And when you leave, you handshake and walk off.
Yeah.
That, to me, was one of the most rudest things I've ever seen in my life, beginning and end. And I have to give one of them credit, he held his peace a lot more than he used to.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad of that, because I agree with y'all, it was bad. And there was no point in him harping on things.
No, I really, it was bad, really bad on one of them, but truly it was really a bad debate on both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, it did not look good for either one of them.
Yeah.
I would say that, but you know, that's where we're at.
And the interesting thing is going to be to see who, there's speculation floating around right now that at Camp David, there's a big serious meeting taking place right now. And I'm curious to see who will, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about anyway.
Yeah, so let's go off that
Yeah,
one.
let's get off of that one before they take us offline here.
Okay, so what else we got going on that we...
Let's see.
We're going to have a few black-eyed peas, a few butter peas, and maybe some lima beans.
We've had
within
cantaloupes.
next week. Oh, the cantaloupe.
Oh.
Where's my cantaloupe? I got to go get that.
Get your, yeah.
All I'm doing is getting up and down.
Well, that's okay. We're blessed. But yeah, we've been harvesting.
About 7.
We just keep harvesting stuff, and we've never picked stuff. Stuff is going wacko, guys.
Why we love it.
I love it, but stuff is going crazy. Me and Ms. Wanda's been talking about how things are just different. Look at this here. Look at this cantaloupe. I'm gonna put it up here.
These are the last two we just picked.
These are the last two we picked. Now the 5 before this were ready and we didn't know it. We just went out there and they were yellow.
They turned overnight.
They just turned overnight. And I told Ms. Wanda, I said, I used to pick cantaloupes and watermelons when I was younger in the fields. And I told her, I said, we better start checking the bottom of these things. If they yellow, we better get them up off the ground. But anyway, we've got cantaloupes in June. Yep, we got cantaloupes in June. It is, it's really, Nikki, that's what I'm talking about. We have never, ever had anything coming in this early like this. I mean, usually your cantaloupes come in around the 4th of July, your watermelons come in around the 4th of July, stuff like that. But now our watermelons ain't going to come in until probably the end of August. But the thing about it is everything is coming in at the wrong time. I don't think I've ever seen stuff ripen the way it's ripening now.
We had peppers really early, and so now...
Yes, we have peppers. We had peppers in May, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we don't usually have peppers
till like July.
And so now our peppers are real tall, putting on more. They're starting all over again.
Now see, Luke Rudwidge has it right. We never have a major hurricane in June, too. I don't know. I think only one in the history of keeping records have we ever had a major hurricane in June, and it didn't come here. It was just, I think it was just in the Atlantic or somewhere out there. But everything is different this year, and it has to do with the weather manipulation. I'm pretty sure of that.
But we do want to remember the people in line of this new storm, this hurricane, because it looks like it's going to be a booger.
Mimsy's Garden says, Mr. Danny, I agree. My tomatoes are done. The peppers are going gangbusters.
That's about where we're at.
That's where we're at. Exactly.
And Danny's planting sweet potatoes everywhere, so we can... Last year, everything kind of was horrible. We couldn't water everything. We were having trouble. It was... When it hit hot, we had, 3 or 4 months with no rain?
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 weeks, not months.
No, last year.
Oh, you're talking about last year. Yeah, last year we had like 3 months with no rain.
Yeah, 3 months with no rain. And so the only thing that really made it really well without us having to water was sweet potatoes. So in lieu of that, this year, everything, while we're building up to the hottest time of our summer, Danny's putting sweet potatoes everywhere. We're just going to be, and my high tunnel, the sweet potatoes look amazing.
They're taking over her high tunnel. I told her, I said, probably in another couple of weeks, we ain't even going to be able to pick the okra in there. I mean, that's going to take the okra and everything.
The okra's just starting to make, and I told him, I said, I have to go in there and chop vines or something.
I mean, our okra at Pecan, I mean not okra, our pepper at Pecan Grove is about 7 feet tall. I mean,
it told all the hottest temperatures from all over the United States and what year they hit their record highs. And I was shocked. Several states hit 120 to 123 or 4 degrees.
Yeah.
And some of them were in 1936, wasn't it?
Most of them
most
were
of the high
most of the high temperatures were in the mid 30s, 1930s. I mean,
most of them 1936. So it's not that we haven't been here before. We have, just not in our lifetime.
Yeah. Let's see here. Carolyn Food Forest 355 says, do you think we'll have a Shemitah year next year? It depends. I'll have to look at the cycles and see if we have a Shemitah year next year. Because right now, off the top of my head, I cannot answer that honestly. I'd have to look at and see where we're at.
Yeah. 1936 is when my dad's brother died of malaria. That was probably a very bad year.
1936 is when my dad's 2-year-old brother died from diphtheria.
Is that the same year?
Yep.
Wow. That had to have been a really rough year, 1936, because what I saw on the map, the average highest hot temperatures was that year. Not every state, but several. Thank you, 3B Homestead. What is a Shemitah year?
I'd rather not go into that on here.
Yeah, because we might create some issues.
Frank Dunai says, Danny, you keep saying, to be honest with you, are there times when you're dishonest with us? No, it's a southern expression down here. It's just something.
Danny has a bad habit of using it all the time.
I do have a bad habit of using it. Yes, I do. It doesn't mean that I'm dishonest any other time. It's just a southern expression.
Thank you, Nikki Walker. She said she missed us last night.
My sweet potatoes have never flowered, even in years past. Is that a problem? Eagle Texas.
Hold on a minute before you say anything and say that again.
Oh, right there. Kathy Richardson says, please help. I need advice on treating powdery mildew. You can use one of two things. Baking soda mixed with water. I'd say 1 tablespoon in a gallon of water. Or you can take in regular whole milk and you can mix milk in with water and spray your plants with that. And lots of times that will knock the powdery mildew out on your things.
All right. Tim Jordan says that you just got a Meadows gristmill. Is the Meadows company good to deal with parts and service?
Tim, yes. Now I dealt with the owner personally. Well, not the owner, but one of the top people in the thing personally. Mr. Robert was his name, I believe. Robert Miller. Am I correct in Robert Miller? It sounds right.
Maybe.
Robert Miller sounds right.
But Robert for sure.
Robert for sure. He was very helpful with me. I mean, he worked with me. We had a little discrepancy on some things that was sent, and he made it right. He made it right. He made it right. I will say that. Yeah. Now, things are quite expensive, but
you're looking at one of a kind, though.
When you deal with these old grist mills, unless you bought a new one. Now, if you bought a new one, you're really a lucky guy, I would say. But
I think you bought an older one.
Yeah, milk knocks out the aphids too. RCJO2 says, and that is true. But now let me tell you something. If you go to spraying milk all over everything and it's in an enclosed environment, it's gonna stink. Because you know how clabbered milk smells, like soured milk? It will smell like that in there. But if you're outside,
anytime you use any fertilizers, if it's certain fertilizers, they stink. Some of the best fertilizers stink.
You know, like fish emulsion, liquid phosphorus. I could just go down the line there. There's a lot of them.
Most of them smell bad.
Yeah, blood meal, powdered phosphorus. I mean, it all smells bad.
Okay.
Let's see.
I am Janet. Alexa said, my muscadines are growing in partial shade and no fruit, 4 years old.
They may not be quite old enough to bear fruit if they're just 4 years old. It all depends on how old your stock was. Now, I've had some that I take off of the main stock itself. I root the main stock, the vine, and mine will put on fruit the next year. But it all depends on what kind of root stock you got.
Okay, you answered Eagle Lover's question a while ago.
I answered Eagle Lovers a while ago, yes.
All right, I gotta move a minute.
Let's see here.
Danny is working on the prepper shack over at Pecan Grove, and I will
Yes,
give
I am.
an update on that maybe later this week.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have it ready to paint.
Yeah.
On the inside. Now, it's not finished. I have the walls ready to paint and the ceiling ready to paint.
Yeah. So we're working on that. What else have we got going on? Pecan Grove is almost to the 20,000 mark, and I do want to have a giveaway.
Yeah.
And so we might hit that before next Saturday night. I'm not sure. But I have a couple of special things to give away. A couple of them is going to be t-shirts, our new t-shirts for Deepsouth Homestead and Pecan Grove. His daughter Carrie is out of town right now, but in less than a week, week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, we will have up, hopefully, her site, her Etsy site. Right now, if you want to preview what she's got up, she's got it on her Facebook site, which is Rustic Charm Fields.
You and her doing on that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to remember the name. Rustic Charm Fields on Facebook. It will be on Etsy within a week and a half or so when she gets back in town. But you can preview the t-shirts and the hats and the cups. She'll do all of that. Eventually she'll have it all up. But we are going to be giving away on Pecan Grove. We'll do a giveaway probably by next weekend or so. And there'll be some shirts, and I have another Vago something for somebody. So we're going to talk about that in a video coming up. And we're going to give away some shirts here too. We'll do it on a Saturday night, probably in a couple of weeks. We'll do Deepsouth t-shirts too.
Catwoman says it buffered during the sweet potato flowering question. Didn't hear the answer. Mine have never flowered either. Beauregards. It doesn't matter if they flower or not. The flowering plays no part in the production of the sweet potatoes. Let's see here.
Sweet potatoes do not have to bloom to produce. That is right.
No, they do not have to bloom to produce. Lots of mine never bloom.
But now the ones in my high ton are blooming like crazy.
Yeah, I was fixing to say somebody needs to take Anthony off of here, but she already did.
All right, thank you. And if he gets to be too much, just totally take him out.
Take him out if you have to. Let's see here. Eagle Lover says thank you. Elderberries are good to eat until they are ripe. Or not good to eat until they're ripe. I'm sorry.
South Louisiana Homestead. Good afternoon to everyone. God bless. It's hot. Now there was a Louisiana Homestead, and you may be the one I watched and commented on. I'm trying to think. She was talking about growing old and changing on your homestead. She lives in New Orleans, I think.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Anyway, I enjoyed her video. I come across, never heard of her before. It was something Louisiana Homestead, and it might have been South Louisiana. I can't remember. You have to tell me if that was you, and I commented on it. But she was talking about growing old and having to change the way you garden and things you had to do in the garden. And I was going to try and remember her to tell people to go check her out, but and so that might be it. I don't remember right off.
Laura M says, do you hill sweet potatoes like regular potatoes? Yeah. Yeah, you hill sweet potatoes up just like you do regular potatoes, because if you don't, the top of...
Sutton. Okay, give it time. Sutton's Days. And she and I have been in the same collabs a lot. We've never really collabed just her and I one-on-one, but she did a video yesterday or in the last few days talking about canning and why would you want to put your family at risk by doing all the radical canning things that aren't approved.
Right.
And she did a really good job, so you might check Sutton's Days out too.
Do we still use our root cellar at Deepsouth? Yeah. Yeah, it's still got stuff all in it. Yeah, it still works.
Still got stuff in the cooler. We got to get out. We got to be down in some stuff. We're
guys,
looking for pecan. If anybody in
I'm looking
South
for a
Mississippi,
pecan cracker, an electric pecan cracker.
If anybody knows of anything, any company.
I mean, everything I'm looking at, they want like $3,000 to $8,000 for something to crack pecans with, and I just want something with a little hopper in it I can pour them in, and it just cracks them, you know. And I've looked at a lot of DIYs, which I used to do some pecan cracking, and spent a lot of time with a man running the pecan cracking business. He used the Myers pecan crackers, and I can't afford a Meyer pecan cracker, not a new one anyway.
Hey, JT West.
And you know, we've got right now. Wanda and I are looking at just we got hundreds of pounds of pecans. And
Jennifer said there's a place on the coast that does crack them, so we'll have to see if we can get with her and find out who it is.
I just need
what they might have.
I need my own cracker because we got pecan trees everywhere here, and they are loaded this year. And I just told Wanda, I said, I'd really like to have my own pecan cracker. You know, I mean, I don't want something I got to sit here and turn my hand to crack. I'm getting too old for that. I got a torn rotator cup. And
I thought you meant pecan crackers to eat.
No, not crackers. Not.
We do. He's got his little hand thing.
I've got my hand
thing. He sits over
thing.
here and does popping, you know. But we have trees, and we're thinking in the future,
right,
of having a way to possibly crack and sell pecans in the future if somebody's interested. We don't know how many we'll have, and we don't know how many years it'll take to get to that place, but we are thinking outside the box for the future.
Yeah, we're just trying to. I always try to prepare for my future, you know, and I really would like to come up with a good. I've been looking at a thing that picks them up off the ground. It runs around $400 for it.
Yeah.
And you have to walk behind it, you know. And I guess that's all right, but it's just. Well, Hey Sue says Amazon has them ranging from $60 to $600. The problem with a lot of these pecan crackers is they come from other countries, and you have to use.
They're made for some of the other nuts those countries do.
They're electric. They have 380 current over there. We have 110 over here. We're the only country in the world that doesn't have 240 and 380, you know, electrical current. And a lot of theirs, you'd have to have a converter to convert it from what the type of electricity is. And plus, you have to pay them ahead of time, and then they have to. You got to pay shipping at the ports and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that.
This is what Danny usually does. This is, I mean, you
I actually have a video showing how to make one of these boxes. This is what I sit and do. And it takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to crack a quart of pecans. About 30 minutes, you know, to crack a quart of pecans.
Now, you can buy this apparatus right here at most of your hardware stores. This is a really good one here, but he's got one side usually has pecans on it. This side would have the shells, but you can see he's got shells on both sides now.
Yeah.
And you have to adjust this according to the size of the pecan. If one's smaller or larger.
Lisa, as a matter of fact, Lisa, 380 and 220 are cheaper to run than 110. We've been fed a lie here in the United States to believe that 110 is a lot cheaper to run, and actually 220 uses less electricity than 110 does. What runs the electricity up is the size of the breaker that you're pushing behind it. Now you take a stove, which is a 220, you run in a number 6 wire, and you're putting that thing on a 50 amp double breaker, 50 amp breaker, and you're pulling 4 eyes on the top plus an oven and all that. Yeah, you're going to burn a lot of electricity with that. But you take a pump on a well, if you run it at 220, it runs a lot cheaper and more economical than if you run it at 110.
Okay, Monkey Mama and let's see, Nikki Walker mentioned who it was. It was New Orleans Gardener. Yes, that's it. The New Orleans Gardener, she's the one, and Monkey Mama put her link up to watch her video that was talking about getting older.
Hey, Suze, all you got to do is go to my video. I show you how to make that box.
Yes. Catwoman says, my dad had the same cracker and made a box pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Your dad made the first one, and you made one.
Lisa said, wow, Danny, I didn't know that. I wish someone would tell my AC that. Lisa, a lot of the problem with people's houses is the way they're wired. I've wired houses for most of my life in the construction business, and when I get through, most people's electric bills don't run much over $100 to $175. They hardly ever get up into $200 ranges unless they get silly and turn their thermostats down to 65 degrees in the summer and run them up to 80 in the wintertime. But people don't ground everything, and they put too many things on too many circuits. They put too much on one circuit in a house, and that will run your power bill way up. And they don't balance the box out in the house. They don't balance the load centers out. A box that's not balanced evenly in a house will run your electric bill up high.
And Danny does have the DIY on an electrical box. Maybe a couple of them, but I know we have.
I think it was at the cabin one, or did I?
We did one for Joe, and you showed at Joe's house. We showed that box you did on Joe's. It's an electrical box, and how he did it. It's in Danny DIYs. I've got a playlist called Danny DIYs or something like that, and it's an electrical box we did for a friend. And maybe when you did the one at the cabin, because we wired the cabin for 110. I mean, for electric, even though it was off grid. We never used the electric because we didn't have electricity over there, but we knew in the future somebody might want to add electricity.
Now, One More Rock is exactly right. You need to keep anything unplugged if you're not using it, because like a cell phone charger, any kind of chargers that's plugged up with your TVs, all this kind of stuff, they're pulling voltage in amperage, whether you know it or not. If that little tiny green light or red light's on it, anything like lamps, all this kind of stuff, my weather station that we have here, all that stuff pulls electricity whether it's being used or not. And RCJ02 is exactly correct. Certain things like a microwave needs its own circuit. Washers need their own circuits. Dishwashers need their own circuits. Garbage disposals need their own circuits. When you start adding a bunch of these things onto circuits with everything else in the house, the kitchens and the bathrooms are the worst.
Danny's even, when I used the electric canner that I bought, he had to tell me where to plug it in.
Yes.
So that it wouldn't be on when a lot of other things were on. If I was using 2 or 3 different things, he said when that electric canner doesn't pull a lot of juice, as long as it's on a circuit that's not got the dryer and everything else.
Well, it won't be on the dryer, but I mean
what was it? A bunch of lights and fans or something?
You have like a toaster oven.
Yeah.
A refrigerator. Refrigerators need to be on their own circuit. Deep freezers need to be on their own circuits. And these are things people go in, like a bathroom. They'll go plug in a hair dryer, a curling iron, and got the lights all on in there, and they got a heater going and all this kind of stuff.
It's all on one.
And it's all on one circuit in the bathroom. You do not want to do that.
All right, is the Harvest Right freeze dryer worth the investment? I want one, but dang, it's expensive. Ask yourself.
You got to ask yourself some questions. Yep.
Number one, we live in a very humid climate. So we had to be very peculiar about what we did and how we did it, because the first few weeks I lost several things down the road. I didn't realize it when we were doing it, but I lost some of the things I did initially because I did not realize I didn't get all the moisture out. You have to figure out the moisture and how long to run things. I eventually started running mine longer than anybody else does because of moisture. The other thing is, what do you want to freeze dry? Are you freeze drying leftovers, or are you freeze drying extra vegetables, or whatever? We like the sweet potatoes, apples, watermelon, cantaloupe. What else did I do? There was quite a few. Chicken does really well. If you get chicken and beef, both of those would freeze dried well. We freeze dried eggs, both cooked and raw, does very well. I've freeze dried milk and did well with that. What else? Some veggies
that's
like
your deal.
okra,
I don't do that.
peppers, onions, all those freeze dry really well. You just got to make sure that what you have on your homestead is something that will freeze dry well and something that you will use.
I want to answer. Mary Beth Smith says, half of my lights and plugs no longer work. Mary Beth, you need to have someone check your electrical box to make sure your grounds are making contact, because that's a prime example that your grounds have worked loose. Or
especially if it's an older
an older place, or if you have aluminum wiring in the house, they may not have put any graphite grease on them. They could be a carbon burn on the aluminum wiring, or you may have bad breakers. And if your plugs aren't working, then you may have the old-fashioned plug-ins. A lot of times people plug the wires into the back of them. Don't ever, ever, ever let someone do that. Always take the screw loose, put the wire on the screw, and put it back in. When you plug them in the back of it, more houses have burnt because of plugging stuff in the back of a plug-in. That is a sign of a poor electrician.
The more current you pull through the line, the hotter it gets.
Yes, that's why houses burn, because the wire overheats and sets the plastic on fire on it.
Will we be taking the freeze dryer to Pecan Grove? Yes, I'm going to have a designated
We'll have a
spot
designated place for it.
And it shouldn't be, right now we have it in the she shed.
Yeah.
In a certain room. And if I don't leave the door cracked, plus I have to put a fan on it. If we run it during the summer, I have to keep a fan on it because it gets way too hot. I usually run it spring and fall, and some in the winter when I know it's not going to freeze. We have to just watch the times that we do it. And that's all in learning your freeze dryer and how to freeze dry.
Okay, let me see where we're at here.
Is there any fix for an old house with no ground?
Yeah, you can put your own ground.
Have somebody do it.
Well, yeah.
Don't do it yourself.
Let me say this. It all depends. A lot of your old houses they had two wires, and I've had to rewire these houses. They have two wires ran on insulators with no ground in them. That is very dangerous, okay? The only alternative to that is just to have the house rewired up to code today. A lot of your old houses were wired with what we call braid coated wiring, and even though it was a number 12 wire, the ground in it was very tiny because back then they didn't have things like hair dryers and curling irons and microwaves and all this kind of stuff, and the ground is too tiny in those, and you got to be very, very careful in those houses. I recommend, and I've rewired a lot of old homes for people, and I'm telling you, it is definitely it needs to be grounded. If it's not grounded, it's very dangerous.
Somebody was saying something about they'd rather dehydrate than freeze dry because freeze dryers are so expensive. I have two good dehydrators, but everything I dehydrated within a year to 2 years, all of it was ruined. And I ran the dehydrator way longer. We're just in a humid area. And so when I processed it and put it in stuff, everything I went back and looked at, was ruined. So I will not dehydrate. We just have too much humidity for that.
Wanda said, John Doe says, Wanda, how to prevent and treat chicken mites?
I don't have a clue.
Ashes.
Ashes, I guess.
Fireplace ashes.
Fireplace ashes was all I could say.
If they're on their legs, you can rub their legs down with Vaseline, and you can rub their perch thing down with Vaseline because it will smother them. But if it's good to just get you some ashes out of
Ashes is what we use.
put them out there in a dusting hole in the chicken pen and fill it full of ashes, and those ashes will kill the mites that's on the chickens.
Sienna said that they had to replace the ball valve on the freeze dryer this week because it was losing pressure. Yeah, they're pretty good. We had one issue one time, they walked Danny through what to do to fix it. I think it was the cord in the back was too short or something we were having, and I can't remember. But
I don't remember. Early on we had a problem, and I want to say it had something to do with that valve.
And instead of sending out a tech, they sent the part and just told Danny how to work it and what to do, and it all went really easy. It's really easy to work on one as far as that. Their parts are easy to work on.
Let's see.
All right.
Oh, what jumped. Back up here. Okay, you're there.
Can they do that without ripping out my walls?
A good electrician can, because they have what's called a fishing tape. If your walls are not insulated in particular ways, if it's just got batting insulation pushed into it, then they can run that fishing tape down through the walls and they can pull new wire in there. It can be done.
See, Robin's Nest said that she has the same problem with dehydrating and freeze drying in Florida. Yeah, you have to know when and where. I did seal the dehydrated, and I put oxygen absorbers and different, what was it? Yeah, I don't remember. I used Mylar for some. I used some in jars. I tried every way to seal dehydrated.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it. Plus, when I opened some before it ruined,
the color
I didn't
changes.
like it.
The color changes on them.
I didn't like anything
Yeah.
about the dehydrated food. Nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it wasn't worth my time.
Yeah. Lisa says it's almost as humid in the winter as it is in the summer in the south. That is correct.
Yes, we have too much humidity. I like my canned goods, and I like my freezers. And I know if the power goes out, the freezers are not good, but I can a lot. I'd rather can. I just like quick fix. That's my quick meals.
My Crooked Little Homestead, I have seen that site. I have looked at it already. But even their pecan crackers are still way overpriced for me. Okay. Okay. Future Folk says, any advice on putting a hand pump well in? Pretty sure you're the guy in the know here. Well, first thing you got to determine if you're going to put a hand pump well in is you can't do it over 25 foot if you're using a small hand pump. But if you're using a deep well hand pump, then you can go a lot deeper. Shallow well pumps can be hand driven, but you got to know your water table. Your water table needs to be within 20 feet at the top of the ground to be able to do that. You can go on Amazon. You can buy the drive pumps and the 5-foot joints of pipe and the drive caps and the unions and all that kind of stuff. I've dug my own wells personally. It is a job to do, but it can be done. Now you can wash down a well if you have a power washer and you rig you up a system with PVC pipe. A 20-foot joints of PVC pipe, you can actually wash a well down. My neighbor did that to one of his. He washed a 2-inch well down. It's just, you just got to know what, it just comes with experience, I guess. But it can be done.
Mona says, Deer ate all my sweet potato vines. Will they grow back and make sweet potatoes? She's in Florida. She ordered the barking dog detector.
They will grow back. But now, it depends on how much. If you're in Florida, you probably got enough time for them to make potatoes if you can keep them off of them. But they will grow back.
Yeah. Yeah, Harvest Right does not offer an extended warranty. 1 year is all you get. If your machine needs work, you have to pay to send it back to Utah. Yeah, if you want them to fix, if there's something they have to fix, it does have to go back. I do get that. I've had a friend do that before.
The I Am of Me says, someone mentioned the red dust. There is red dust on my rain barrels. We do have a red dust event coming. It's an outer, I hate to use the word outer space, that sounds horrible, but it is
out in the solar system.
There's some stuff coming through the solar system that is going to leave a red dust on things. So don't freak out about it. It's not the end of the world when it happens. Donna says, but how do you determine the water level beforehand? Gosh, I could talk all night on this one.
We might not talk to.
Well, but I mean, let me just tell you, you look for specific trees like black gums, poplars.
Is that what you're talking about, water in the soil?
How far it is down to the water.
Okay.
How deep the water. No, how deep it is to the water. When you got a black gum tree growing or a poplar tree growing, something other like this, a bay tree, then usually you're usually within 15 to 20 feet of water if you have those trees growing on your place.
D. Foley wants to know, have you heard about jumping worms, also called snake worms or crazy worms?
Yes, I have heard of those worms. Actually, they came to the United States, according to what I understand, about 3 years ago. I don't know that they're harmful or anything like that, but I have heard of them, and I was told when they came here, and I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago. JNO more numbers. We're not talking about red dirt. We're talking about red dust. Now, red dirt is usually a sign of a high iron content. I totally agree with that. There is no question about that.
And some wells have.
And our wells have a lot of iron in them. They got a lot of red stuff in it. But what we're talking about is a red dust from the outer space area out there that's coming in. It's coming in through the atmosphere.
I don't know when exactly.
It's already here. It's already started.
It's already started, so it's possible where you're getting your dust from.
Carolyn Moore Smith says, I've hit water digging post holes. I have too. I mean, it all depends on where you're at. Matter of fact, I've had a lot of trouble putting in posts sometimes because of water. I have to put concrete around them. I can't tamp the dirt back.
Sheila 80 says, I love the old Crazy Days videos, cooking without mixers and other appliances. Thank you. Yes, I just started, lots of times I don't use all that kind of stuff. Most people ask why I don't use, what are they called, the food processors. I have one. I've used it twice, I think, in several years. I just don't like food processors. Now I have a Ninja. The only thing I do a lot with was the Ninja. I will use it to make Danny's desserts. And I like that, but lots of times I just use a spoon or a fork or a potato masher or whatever else I need.
Yeah, we've been on here over an hour.
Yeah, we do need to.
We got to let these people go. A lot of them got to go to work tomorrow.
I just haven't done any Crazy Days videos in a long time. Once a lot of the Canon and stuff, I might try again. It's just been a while. All right, so do you have a tip? We need to say a prayer and then do you have
I don't know. I wasn't planning on doing all that.
You have a tip? Not really.
Not really. I've been busting my tail all day. My tip is don't work yourself to death when you get to be old.
Take some time to enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's why we do the live stream. We enjoy it.
Wanda Champion says, what are the name of those trees again? Well, actually, there's several trees. One of them could be a willow. One could be a poplar. One could be a black gum. One could be a bay tree. One could be even be a magnolia. I mean, there's lots of different trees around.
If they're growing in the wild now, not a planted magnolia.
Not a planted tree, but
because people plant magnolias sometimes and they don't plant them where water is.
Yeah, we're talking about wild growing trees. We're not talking about native trees. There's lots of them out there that tells you that water's really close to the top of the ground.
Okay. I don't know if the freestanding site is up. I meant to ask Tag and B this week. I've had a couple of people say something about it being down, and I don't know if that's a glitch and they're working on it, or if they pulled it. I don't know what's happening with freestanding. So I will try to check on that for you guys. I've just been busy and hadn't gotten in touch with them. We're supposed to be doing some stuff with them, and I've been slack. I've been busy.
We're both very tired.
And they are too.
Yeah.
Like Tag and B's like
yeah,
doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we guys, it's our time to be able to do a lot of things that we like doing and preparing for what's going on. Now, this could be a tip, I reckon, is we're running out of time really, really quick. And now, is the world coming to an end? No, the world's not coming to an end.
You're just going to have a lot thrown at you at one time.
Yeah, is the way of life that we know coming to an end? Yes, that could very well be happening. And it's disheartening to be able to see that some people are not prepared. I mean, lots of people think they are. And I talk a little bit about this on Porch Time. Lots of people think they're homesteaders. They're really not. Lots of people call themselves preparing for the future. They really aren't. I mean, if you really sit down and look at it, lots of people still get up every morning. They still go to a job. They still go to the grocery stores. They still, run out to the doctor's offices, and I mean, they're constantly taking vacations, taking trips, all this kind of stuff. If I could give you some unclassified documents that we have for you to read, you would definitely understand what I'm talking about. This was a plan started in the 1930s.
You're not giving me Porch Time.
No, I ain't talking about that.
I just have to watch him sometimes.
This was a plan started in the 1930s by our government to make people think that if they reward themselves for doing good, and for hard work, then they can keep you poor and not keep you on a. If we can teach people they need to retire, and wait till you're 65 or 70 though before you do it, and to pay into a system.
Quit banging on the table.
I'm sorry.
He gets carried away and he hits the table and it's bouncing and everything.
This was a plan started by our government to break us down financially and never succeed hardly. To make us think we have to reward ourselves for something. And we're teaching our kids the same thing. It's a birthday. We need to have a party. It's a birthday. You know what? God's people never had birthday parties. God's people celebrated the death of someone, not the birth of someone. I mean, as a matter of fact, throughout scriptures, you never see a birth date mentioned, other than like John the Baptist and when Christ they gave a picture.
The day they're born, but
no, they didn't give a day they were born. They just told them that they were born 6 months apart.
I know, but what I'm saying, people might celebrate the day they're born more than every year.
Yeah, they don't do it every year.
Second year, third year, fourth year. No. Sweet 16, 18, 21, 25.
These are ploys by the government to train us that everybody's a winner. I'm sorry to tell you, everybody's not a winner. Okay? Only those that win are winners. Go back if you don't believe what I'm telling you. Tell me who ran with Gerald Ford when he was president. Who was his incumbent? I mean, who was the one running against him? Richard Nixon. Who ran against Richard Nixon? In the Senate, who wins certain seats back in the 60s? Unless you're the winner, you're not remembered. And that's one of the things that you just have to understand. It's where we were trained commercialism. We were trained mentally to believe in commercialism. The old expression, keeping up with the Joneses.
Do I have to give my ribbon back?
I mean, when I was involved in things, especially when I was fighting, if I didn't win, I didn't get a trophy. if you didn't win, somebody beat your tail, you just learned, hey, this guy's
try harder next time.
Try harder next time. The guy's better than I was, you know? You learn to accept defeat, and you learn to move forward and become better at what you do. When I trained, when I was training and shooting, a lot of people go, I shoot, I keep shooting till I can do the best I can. No, I shoot till I can't get it wrong. That's how I was trained. You shoot till you don't miss. I mean, you can ask this woman sitting right here, if I pick up something and shoot at you, it's not going to be good. I don't miss usually. You know what I mean? You just do it till you don't miss. And that's the mentality now. We got people who go out and they actually train with weapons and they don't even know what they're doing. They, like me in archery. When I was in archery, I was one of the best in archery that there was. I used to set my own bow. I set my own till. I set everything on my bow. I set it up myself. And you kids that go out and shoot archery now, they don't even know they don't know anything about their weapon.
The Nick Queen Solo says, only those in Jesus Christ are the true winners.
That is exactly right.
That's it.
That's it. I don't care what you do in life. I don't care what your success is. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care about any of that stuff. The only thing that matters is your eternal destination. If you've got your eternal destination nailed down, you're a winner. I don't care what anybody else says. You have already succeeded in life. Success is not based on wealth. It's not based on finances. It's not based on who you are. In God's eyes, we're all filthy rags. When He looks down at us, He doesn't see anything. He looks at. I did a video on this here a while back about what we wear, what we look like, all this kind of stuff. God looks on the heart. That He doesn't care what you wear. I mean, He doesn't want you to be naked or anything like that. He doesn't want you to wear provocative clothes because there are scriptures that teaches you to wear clothes that don't draw attention to you. But He doesn't care what they look like. All He's interested in is the inward part, what's in the heart. You know, I mean, that is it. I don't know. I could go on. I get round up here. I'm gonna have to stop.
You gonna stop now?
I'm gonna stop now.
Y'all, he don't do this to me very often because he knows I agree with him, so he doesn't get wound up.
I don't get wound up.
He knows that you guys, and most of you do agree with him. Some of you don't. That's okay. We don't care. But
yeah, I just have to.
Mimsy, we saw that earlier. I was watching her.
Wanda told me about Cody.
Missy's video earlier. She just put it up when I saw it. It hadn't been up 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I don't usually see a lot of their stuff, but I did see that. He'll be okay, I think. But yeah, it could have been worse.
Right.
And we do need to pray for all of them in the line of the storm. Plus, the storm is coming into somewhere, either
it's
Mexico,
going to come into the
Texas.
Gulf somewhere.
It's coming in. It could come in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama,
Texas,
Florida.
It could come in.
It could go anywhere right now.
Only God knows.
So we do want to pray for anybody in the line of storm. Plus, there's one behind it, and this is June.
This is June, and
well, tomorrow's July.
Well, that is true.
So we've got a long.
We got all the way till the end of October, 1st of November. So there's a lot of room for a lot of things to happen.
Yes. And somebody asked earlier, how do we prepare for a hurricane? Well, we stay prepared all year long, basically. But we know one is gonna, if we're taking a direct hit or the worst side of it.
We're on that northeast quadrant, and we pick up stuff.
Pick up everything that could get blowed around because we don't want to have to pick it up afterward, go hunting it.
Yeah.
If you don't pick it up ahead of time, it could be in the neighbor's yard or 2 miles down the road or whatever. So we pick everything up ahead of time.
Yeah.
We make sure if we need to catch up water beforehand in case we need it, but we also have a way to have water afterwards, so we don't really have to catch a lot up. We always have food, so that's not a big deal. We don't take meds, so we don't need medicine. What else? That's basically it. Check on the animals, make sure they have what they need.
I mean, there's just
during the
things.
worst part of the storm.
We just have certain things we stay stocked up on. Like my chainsaws are always ready to go. I mean, the side by sides.
We always have extra gas.
We have extra gas, extra diesel. I mean, we keep our tractors all ready to go in case we have to get out of somewhere.
And we have the generators are always ready.
Yep. We got
and extra gas for that.
Yeah, we try to keep all that stuff, you know.
I mean, that's the way we do things around South Mississippi.
When you live in the South,
everybody runs and fills any extra gas cans up before the storm. Don't wait till afterward.
What we don't do, okay? Let me tell you what we don't do.
Toilet paper. I have plenty of toilet paper.
We don't run to the grocery store and buy milk and bread and water and all that kind of stuff. We don't.
Snacks.
We don't buy snacks. We don't do all that stuff because we have canned vegetables that's in jars that are already cooked. And if worst comes to worst, all we got to do is open a jar of our stuff. It's got liquid in it, so we can drink the liquid out of it if we have to. I mean, we are already prepared in those areas.
Yeah. And we do have a shelter. We have an underground shelter.
Yep.
And at Pecan Grove, we will have a safe room.
We'll have a safe room at Pecan Grove.
And so we know that whichever place we're at, plus the older house is I guess it's kind of like a fort.
It was a block house, and then it's got bricked around. And then it got 2x4 walls put on the inside of it with 5/8 sheetrock. So
the roof may come off, but I don't think the walls are going anywhere.
I don't think the walls are going nowhere.
If we were there and needed to be in that, we can run inside, and that is like it went through Katrina and everything else, didn't it? And Camille.
Yeah.
Didn't it go through Camille?
Yeah.
Yeah, it went through Camille and Katrina. So
yeah.
It's a decent little house. If we had to take shelter, but we know ahead of time when a hurricane's coming in. We're not going to be sitting, oh, geez, there it is, let's go inside, you know. We have places that we could be.
Okay. We got to get off of here.
My iron levels are doing great.
We're keeping these people up.
Yeah. All right, so we got to go. We're going to say a prayer right quick, and then we'll...
All right.
So he's done the tip out of ahead of time.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We all whacked up and off schedule.
We're off schedule here. Father, we're thankful we've enjoyed it tonight, Lord. It's a little off kilter tonight, a different night. Probably got some different people on here that don't normally get to be on here, and that's okay. Everybody deserves an opportunity to share in the conversation. And thank you tonight that you've been good to us. You've given us some rain today. Oh, that was a blessing to break this heat. Could possibly have some more tomorrow before this next big heat wave moves in here. And Father, we're praying for those in the wake of this storm, the barrel that's coming through. Everything seems to be a little off this year, and that's to be expected with the tilt of the earth. We know that time is off now. So help us to be able to help the ones that's in the path of this storm, that they'll fare well. And it won't be as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be, Father. Keep the worst part out over the water and not let it be too destructive, if you will. And when it comes into the Gulf, whether it goes into the Bay of Campeche or whether it comes into Texas or Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, any of the coastal regions around through here, Father, then help us to all be prepared for what may come either with it or what may come with next behind it. Just give us all the wisdom. And take care of us, Father. You told us you'll take care of us, and we believe that you will now. Those that are sick and afflicted, shut-ins, Lord, we just pray for them that you'll heal their bodies and give them grace and peace in their time of need now. So go with us and forgive us where we failed you, Father. That's the main thing. We just want to be forgiven and love us through everything that's going on, Father, like you said you would. And we'll be careful to give you the honor, the praise, and the glory for everything. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Now.
Vicky Savage says, if y'all want to move live stream from Saturday to Sunday, I wouldn't complain. We've had Saturdays for so...
Oh, my word. Saturday night is... It's been forever. I can't remember a time it wasn't since we were married, hardly.
And usually on Sundays, I have a lot I try to get done on Sundays, and it would be very difficult most Sundays.
Yeah.
The deal is, I usually edit Sunday afternoons. I didn't have to because I have a video for Pecan Grove already done. I did it a couple of days ago, so Monday I'll have a video. Danny did Porch Time. I still hadn't edited it, so I'm off on that, but I'll try and get it done before Tuesday.
I hope so. I hope so.
So maybe.
Maybe. Guys, thank y'all for dropping in here and being with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
And thank you, moderators.
Thank you, moderators.
I know Lippy and Allison both got a couple of projects going on, so I thank the ones that showed up, Monkey Food Garden and Mark and Mimsy for being around and helping out with it. Y'all did a good job tonight, and we'll talk to y'all later.
See you guys later.
Oh, check us out on Pecan Grove now, because we do have that the giveaways coming up when we hit 20,000.
When we hit 20,000, we ain't gonna tell you what we're giving away, but
except for T-shirts and hats.
T-shirts and hats, but we got a special prize.
Yes. We'll talk to y'all later.